Hello YouTube friends. On these older model Trailblazers, Envoys with the center console gear shifter, it's not uncommon for that gear shifter to get locked to where it won't come out of park. Even if you push the brake, it won't come out of park. And check out my other video. There's a couple of things to look at before you go to this extreme. Check the fuse under the hood. It's on the other video. And put a little bit of lubricant down in here. And that's, like I say, that's on the other video. A little lubricant here, a little here, to see if that's a problem. And that was actually the problem with this Trailblazer. So I'm gonna leave that off to show you. Okay, so if that doesn't work, you can call a wrecker and spend a lot of money and wait a long time for them. Or you could have a hole drilled in your console ready for this situation. Or you can get somebody to come out and do the hole while you're, while you're waiting. It's up to you. Call a wrecker. One wrecker came out and told the person he knew how to do it, but he'd have to take the console off. A lot of people show you how to do this. Take the whole console all the way off, and it usually breaks in here because they force this off. This is glued on. This is part all together. You have to take the whole console off in one piece. And then people take these gear shifters apart up here, and they mess up their handle and everything else. So you don't need to do that right now. You might have to pay a good mechanic to do that later, but right now, to get home, you can actually just push this bypass button in right here and shift it out of, now make sure you got your parking brake on, shift it out. Okay, I've got my parking brake on and I've got my wheels chocked right now. So, again, I'll show you. Can't do it, can't open. Push this in, little button there, and it'll come out of park. All right, so how do you get to that? I'm gonna show you what you're doing in here. This is the brake transmission safety interlock that's down inside there. This is your gear shifter mechanism right here, and your cable runs back around to your transmission. So this is the button you have to push right here. That's spring loaded. This is the wiring that plugs in, the pigtail that plugs in. Normally your wiring comes up, it hits the solenoid, it pushes the button in for you, and then you can shift it out of park. But in this case, you're going to push the button yourself. So how do we get to this hole? How do we know where it is? All right, roughly speaking, it's 48 millimeters back, which is around 2 inches, 48 millimeters back, and around 4 inches down. All right, I'm going to show you how to be more precise with that. We want to put a piece of tape right here. We're going to make all our marks on tape so we can see them easily. I suggest you use tape. Don't mark up all your car. All right, so here's your shaft of your handle right here. So just kind of eyeball that out right there. That's pretty much dead center of the bottom of your shaft. That shaft leans a little bit. You want to just be dead center of the bottom of your shaft here. Then we're going to go back 48 millimeters. 48 millimeters. And I happen to have a piece cut right here, 48 millimeters long. So I'm going to come back to right there. See, that's right at 48 millimeters. I went a little too far. It's going to be 48 millimeters to the center of your mark. From the center of this mark to the center of that mark. 48 millimeters. Okay, that's my starting point for back. Now we've got to get our up and down point. All right, it's in park. Like I say, I've got my wheels chocked. We're going to find a center point on this brake handle. First thing we're going to do is mark the center of the brake handle. All right, because we're going to measure down from the center of that brake handle right there. All right, we're going to come over the top and move my camera so you can see how I'm doing this. we're going to come over the top. Extend that line right on over the top and then go straight down with it. Alright, that's our center line measurement for our hole. That looked pretty good, yes. Okay, so this cross right here, we're going to measure straight down 105 millimeters from that point on that cross. Alright, I've got this 105 millimeter piece cut here. Now if you want to cut these, you can. If you're good at measuring, a lot of people are not. I'm good at measuring, but I've simplified this. So that's 105 millimeters. Using one of these cheap tapes, got inches on one side, millimeters on the other. So come down 105 millimeters from that cross. Actually, what we're going to do is first we're going to make a line straight down using the edge of this piece of paper. All right, let's move it back a little bit. Make a mark right here. Hopefully you can see that. Move my tape down just a little, my camera down just a little bit. Okay, that's straight down right there. And you can see I'm going to be off a little bit, but that's okay. It'll still work. You're going to get somewhere within pretty close to where we need to be. All right, that's straight down pretty much right there. Okay. See, yeah, straight down. Okay. Now we're going to come down 105 millimeters, so we're going to make a mark right at the bottom of that. Now you see this hole is a little higher, and I did that on purpose because I drilled my hole just a little bit too low. So I was using popsicle sticks and things to measure mine. So we're going to drill our hole using a 1/4 inch drill bit. You're going to drill your hole right there. Not, you know, just ignore this. Pretend there's no hole right here. I'm going to drill that hole right there. All right, there is a hole there, so I'm going to just do that. This is not very thick, and this is not sealed. This housing is all open underneath. This is all open. It's not sealed, so you're not causing any air leakage or anything. All right, so you got your hole. Like I say, the hole will work just as fine if it's here or if it's here. See, I'm coming up at an angle and I'm hitting that right there. All right, set my brake, push my button, and away I go. Now, if you do that before you crank your engine, you're gonna have to put it in. You're gonna have to put it in neutral to crank it. Have this set. Go back around and make sure. Look at your little indicator. See, it's in neutral. You got to get it in neutral. If you go to crank, it's going to lock again. Then you're going to have to push the button again, like I'm doing right now. I'm holding the button with one hand. Well, I can't do it. I gotta have one of my hands there. So I've got to push that button and move it back. You can see. All right, so when you're going home, you got to stop at a gas station, about to run out of gas. You could leave it in neutral and set your brake, get you a little bit of gas, and get on home and get this thing fixed right. Okay, YouTube, appreciate all you checking it out. Hit subscribe and have a great day.